It's helpful to take some time beforehand to create brief summaries about yourself, which include relevant information about education history and any previous projects worked on which showcase your abilities as a full-stack programmer. Employers are likely to ask about any achievements or successes experienced previously during projects undertaken prior employment too. In addition to this, research into the company prior to the interview can give additional context about their operations, which can prove useful during conversation parts of an interview, especially if candidates are able to provide evidence that they are familiar with company culture and current trends within their industry sector. Overall, there is no one surefire way guaranteed success during interviews. However, following the advice outlined above should give applicants confidence when taking part in forthcoming interviews, thereby maximizing chances securing coveted full-stack developer roles. What is involved in the job interview for full-stack developer? The job interview for full-stack developer jobs typically consists of two parts: technical interviews and behavioral interviews. During the technical interview, your skills and knowledge related to programming languages and frameworks will be tested. During the behavioral interviews, recruiters or hiring managers want to get an idea of how well you would fit into their team and company culture by asking questions about your attitude and experience in working with teams. Tips on preparing for the job interview: make sure that you are knowledgeable about the technologies and programming languages used by the company that is interviewing you. Do some research on their website or any online resources available about these technologies so that you can demonstrate your knowledge during the technical interviews. Practice answering typical questions related to development tasks such as designing database schemas or coding algorithms using sample code snippets or actual code from past projects. This will help prepare you for technical interviews as well as show recruiters that you have done your research on their company's particular technologies. Prepare examples of projects that highlight your skills as a developer and show how those skills have been applied in past projects. Being able to demonstrate successful applications of development techniques is a great way to convince recruiters that you have what it takes for this job role. Brush up on topics like software engineering principles, design patterns, scalability, and other topics related to software development so that when asked these types of questions during an interview, you are able to provide an educated response with authority. Be prepared to answer questions about yourself such as why did you choose this career path, or how do your skills make you stand out from other developers. You should also anticipate some behavior-based questions such as how would handle challenges or how do you work with others in a team setting. Practice answering these types of questions beforehand so that when asked them during an interview, your answers sound natural instead of rehearsed. Finally, don't forget basic etiquette such as dressing appropriately and being on time for the job interview. First impressions count. Common questions asked during full-stack developer job interviews: 1. What programming languages are familiar with? 2. Explain OOP concepts such as inheritance and abstraction. 3. How do you handle debugging complex code? 4. Describe a project where have used agile development methodology. 5. What challenges have faced when developing web applications? 6. What is responsible design pattern have used before? 7. How would go about optimizing code performance? 8. What experience do you have with databases such SQL Server or MySQL? 9. How would handle issues like security breaches when developing applications? 10. Can share some examples where have successfully implemented RESTful APIs? Interview preparation guide for full-stack developers. Are you looking for a job in full-stack development? The interview process can be intimidating, especially if it's your first technical job. To help you prepare, here is a comprehensive guide on what to expect and how to make the most of the opportunity. Know your skills and experiences. The first step in interview preparation is to have a clear understanding of your skills and experiences. What programming languages are you proficient in? Have you worked on projects before? Are you familiar with the technologies used at the company? This information should be reflected in your resume, but will also be important to discuss during an interview. Research the company. Before the interview, it's important to research the company. What type of products do they create? What technologies do they use? Who are their customers and what challenges are they trying to solve with their products? Being familiar with the company's mission, technology stack, and customer base will demonstrate that you're invested in learning about the organization. Understand basic interview questions. Though each interviewer may ask different questions, there are some basic questions that are commonly asked during full-stack developer interviews. Prepare answers for questions such as, tell me about yourself, what projects have you worked on and what technologies did you use? Explain why certain technologies were used over others in certain situations. Explain common algorithms and data structures used when creating applications. Describe your experience with object-oriented programming, OOP, and design patterns. Demonstrate how to debug code efficiently. Explain how web servers work and list common protocols used for web development. Be prepared to showcase your work. Full-stack developers typically need to present their work during an interview. Here are some tips for showcasing your work. Have a portfolio ready. Having a portfolio of your work is key when interviewing for a full-stack developer role. It should show examples of projects you've worked on, including screenshots, code snippets, diagrams, or other artifacts that demonstrate your understanding of coding best practices and design principles. Practice presentations. Before an interview, practice presenting your portfolio so that it flows well and conveys all relevant information in an organized manner. It's also important to practice answering questions related to each project so that you feel comfortable talking about them during the actual interview. Have test cases ready. If applicable, have test cases ready that demonstrate how well-written code can handle unexpected inputs or scenarios gracefully. This gives employers assurance that any code written by the applicant is robust enough for production-level software applications. Understand technical interview questions. During the technical portion of the interview process, employers may ask questions related to coding best practices or design principles such as memory management or efficient algorithms used for processing large data sets. It's important to be prepared for these types of questions by researching coding best practices beforehand or practicing coding exercises such as HackerRank or LeetCode problems that involve data structures or algorithms commonly used in full-stack development roles. Be ready for questions about problem-solving and design strategies. In addition to technical questions, employers may ask questions related problem-solving strategies such as debugging technique or design approaches when creating complex applications with many layers of code interacting with each other. To prepare for this type of question, it's important to understand basic software engineering concepts such as object-oriented programming, OOP, software architecture patterns like microservices or model view controller, MVC, architectures and principles like continuous integration, CI. Additionally, having knowledge about popular frameworks like React.js or Angular can help demonstrate understanding of modern front-end development best practices which many companies demand from applicants applying for full-stack developer positions. Are you looking to become a full-stack web developer? If so, you're in the right place. This guide will provide some insight into the interview process and help you prepare for your upcoming job interview. When it comes to preparing for a job interview, there are some key steps to take that will ensure success. The first thing you should do is research the company and position you're applying for. Knowing who they are and what they do is important so you can tailor your answers to show them why you are the ideal candidate for the job. Next, make sure you have a strong understanding of web development concepts such as HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and frameworks like React or Angular. You should also be familiar with server-side technologies like Node.js or PHP. Showing that you understand how the web works is essential for any full-stack developer role. Before going into your interview, practice answering questions out loud so that you feel comfortable speaking about your skills and knowledge during the actual interview. It's also helpful to have an idea of common questions recruiters ask so that you can prepare answers in advance and make sure that your responses are relevant to the position. During the interview itself, it's important to stay calm and confident while presenting yourself in a professional manner. Show enthusiasm for the job by asking questions about the role and explaining why this position is attractive to you personally. Additionally, listen carefully when the interviewer speaks and answer their questions thoughtfully without getting too off topic. Finally, after your interview, it's important to follow up with a thank you note or email expressing gratitude for their time and interest in considering your application. Send it soon after your meeting ends, as this will demonstrate that you took an extra step which could potentially help set yourself apart from other candidates vying for this position as well. We hope this guide will help hone in on key areas of focus when interviewing for full-stack developer roles. Good luck!